1, 2, 3.
I told you once, Rodney, I'm not going to tell you again, son. I do the 1, 2, 3, 4s.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Rodney, I do the 1, 2, 3, 4s. 1, 2, 3, 4. Listen here, stop me if you heard it. That was quite good, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was brilliant.
It's that bunch of Wallies. What do they think they're doing? They're on top of the pops.
What give you the bigger thrill, Dan? Only Fools and Horses or Top of the Pops or equal measure, would you say?
What? Do you mean the two shows?
Well, like, you thought, was it like more proud of being on Fools and Horses or actually Top of the Pops? Because I know you like your music.
It would be Fools and Horses.
Yeah.
Snogged by David Jason. Very pleasant experience. But, you know, I'd only just met him, so it was a bit of a shock. And we did the dialogue, and they sent me back into the house, shaking. I mean, it seemed to go well. And then I came out with the dog. And they, of course, were expecting a sort of poodle or a terrier. And I uncovered this huge Great Dane. And honestly, I think John Sullivan wrote one of the funniest scenes I ever had. It was just glorious.
Don't take the dog, Molly!
Taking off his wig and revealing that he's, haven't got much hair, and takes off his shirt, and he's got it's a fake tan. So there's a great V down here where he's put on the tan, and then the next bit is where he takes off his shoes, his platforms. So sort of Del Boy does a great thing where he turns around and then sort of goes double takes and sees that actually Tony has shrunk 6 inches. And then the last thing, of course, is where Tony takes out his codpiece and sort of hands it to Del Boy.
And he just said to me, I remember him saying it one day, he said, do it, why don't you just say don't. And I went, yeah, I'll do that, Nick. I didn't think, because some actors would be like, oh, excuse me. What? You're telling me how to say my lines? How dare you? You know what I mean? But I was like, yeah, that works. Kept it in, and that was it.
They seek him here, they seek him there. Those policemen seek him everywhere. Is he in heaven or is he in hell? That damn elusive shadow.
Personally, I mean, I always loved, I've just had my dinner. I just thought that was such a brilliant line and also, you didn't wind your window down, which is just so obvious. I think that whole scene in the car is just brilliant. So many favourite lines within that episode, and I love all of the stuff. Actually, David seeing the dating agency as well, promising her a steak dinner and all that kind of stuff. Guaranteed. I know. And it's kind of funny now, isn't it, when you think how dating has moved on, and now it's all on apps and this, and he's in an office, and it's just kind of rather charming, I think.
And I think he says, the dating guy says she's 35, and Del Boy goes, knocking on a bit, isn't she? He's about 40 odd at the time, isn't he? Yeah. Yeah. And I think what sort of lady you're looking for? Bird, I think he says, doesn't he?
Yeah.
What's wrong, Nemish?
I'll tell you why I know that is... What? Sorry, is that your change over there? There we go.
You never kept your wig then?
I did.
You did?
I did, yes. I think that was the most expensive thing I've ever... They sent me to a proper toupee wig maker, and she made this. I think it cost about 500 or 600 quid. I mean, it was a proper kosher thing, And I had it was presented to me on a wig block, one of those sort of dummy heads. And I said at the end of the shoot, I said to the makeup lady, I said, "How much would you like that for?" And she said, "Well, it's not going to fit anyone else, Nick. I mean, it would only clutter up the storage." So out it came. And I did. I kept it for quite a long while. Impressed quite a few girls along the way, I have to say.
Well, that's a hell of a party you've got there, son.
For some reason, van men love a Gary. All the guys in the vans, all the workers, I just think it's like a real working class thing. Do you know what I mean? It's the real working class show, and I think there's and it's also an affectionate look at the working life, the working class experience.
Gary?
Gary?
That the scene in the pub, I think, was quite a bit longer. It had other characters coming into it, and actually the bit before they go on holiday, which is just a brilliant scene, and has the fantastic joke. I've been trying to buy when he's trying to buy condoms, and he says to him, you know, there's a stigma attached. I've never heard the phrase "there's a stigma attached" since, without saying to someone, "No, that's a bit of silver paper. You throw that away."
Well, I keep going to buy them.
Yeah, go on.
Well, there's a sort of stigma attached to them.
No, that's just a piece of silver foil. You chuck that away.
It's not just one take. You know, we only have one camera. It's a film camera, so to get all those different angles and different shots, you had to do things several times. So the the visual effects boys, Andy McVeigh was down there and his team had to rig the coach several times, and there were, you know, fishing lines on the back of the bus to pull the boot out, and charges in the side. So as they went off, they pulled the doors, that sort of thing. And that's how you got all the different angles, because I don't think we have more than one camera. So, piece it all together, it looks a lot bigger than it actually was on the day. And then, of course, we had to do the reverse. So we had to see it with Rodney in the phone box, which was our phone box, by the way. It wasn't there. But you need to see the reflection of the explosion as well. So we had to do that one.
I agree that Del gets a bit out of hand, but I think it's unfair to say that everything he touches goes wrong.
This is how long ago it was. John went, right, okay, and he pressed this cassette, and it was holding back the tears, Simply Red.
Simply Red.
And I looked around the table, and all the actors, including me, and everybody, including John as well, were all in tears. It was that powerful. This was on a Monday morning for the read-through, which no one ever gets involved. But it was that powerful and that good, John's script, but everybody was welling up. You know, it was just incredible.
I've got to be honest with you, just very nice, down-to-earth people. Do you know what I mean? They're all experienced actors as well. You know what I mean, in that, and they were just really lovely. I remember Tessa Pete Jones was really, really particularly nice when I met her. Just a lovely, down-to-earth woman, and we got on really, really well. The other characters in there that I remember, from the canteen and stuff like that, we just got on really well. It was just a nice place to work.
I know a lot of people don't like it, as it's a controversial one, and I think that's why I suspect that it would have had a little bit more finesse at the ending, or he would have come up with I'm a writer now myself, and I know that sometimes if you're pushed, you come up with sort of not the obvious, but you could have come up with a better solution if you'd had more time to think, more time to mull it over. There'd been time for other input. You'd been able to see how other things were working. You could have gone back and set other things up earlier, and so on. And I think that it isn't set up properly for him to sort of do that turnaround, and then how it finishes on a low note rather than finishing on that great big the punchline. It actually has it falls a bit flat. Del's a bit nasty, and then he gets a bit nastier.
How did you know he offered me £1,000?
Well, it's about the going rate to get a plonker out your daughter's life.
You arranged it, didn't you?
No.